Hi everyone, welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm joined by Terry today, and we're going to be talking about that dramatic Everton win over Tottenham Hotspur in the FA Cup last night. First of all, Terry, what a game, honestly. Usually Everton like to come out second best in games like that, and they get shown on Sky for years and years to come. But not last night. Everton came out on top and got the win 5-4 after extra time. What did you make of it, if you can put it into words?
Yeah, nice quiet one. Bit tense, wasn't it? Like a bit cagey.
Our 1-0
Are,
predictions went straight out the window.
are there any words for what transpired? The game was off its head. Like from the first minute till the last minute of extra time, I didn't. Honestly, the way I describe it is, it was just in like sections of games where at the beginning they came out on fire. Spurs, we just looked like we couldn't live with them. You know, we got the let off with the save from Olsen, and then they scored like not long after. Then we could be about 5-0 down after about half an hour because they're just running all over us. Then we decided, I said on Twitter, to activate instant kill, like, and just started lashing goals past them, and they're suddenly 3-1 down.
That's amazing. That.
Then the last action of this first half, Yerry Mina loves a goal contribution either way, and in first time stoppage time, he kicks fresh air and it's 3-2. And then that was just half time. And obviously the second half swings back and forth a few times until obviously Bernard tears you apart again. He settles it, but I don't believe, right? I cannot believe the two teams, the two clubs in the Premier League with two of the famed tacticians of world football in the dugout, Jose Mourinho and Carlo Ancelotti, just decided to bin all tactics off and have a shootout. I think Ben Godfrey said it was like a game of pro clubs on FIFA, wasn't it?
I was sat there thinking, this is like a game you'd see in FIFA. This, as soon as a goal went in, you absolutely knew the other team was going to go down the end and put it in the net. Such a strange game of football. Like, Gylfi Sigurdsson, I thought was boss. Like, I can't believe it, because the first 15 minutes, I was fuming. The first 15 minutes, I thought, that's it. Everton have come and they've brought a knife to a gunfight again, and we're going to go out the FA Cup with a whimper here. And honestly, I can't believe. I was saying to my dad, can you imagine the odds of this finishing 3-1 at half time after about 15 or 20 minutes? No, because it was unbelievable. The Dominic Calvert-Lewin goal, which Lloris probably should have done a bit better. It went through him, really, didn't it? The penalty, which I thought was a bit sceptical. I don't really see too much contact, but everyone's saying that he was tripped. And then that Richarlison goal, absolutely brilliant. Obviously, it's great to be in the next round. Couple of good teams. At the time we're recording this, we don't know who Everton are getting in the next round. Who are you hoping to see in the next round, Terry? Or Bournemouth or Sheffield United, really?
Sheffield United, don't want Bournemouth. Forget it. They've got a good record against us. It's not like they're a lower league side who've been down for 10 years. They were a Premier League side last season.
Yeah, it's not like we're playing Sheffield Wednesday like we did in the last round before Tottenham. It's just it'd be a tough game against them. Not to forget, we actually lost at home to them last season in the last day. So Bournemouth would be a tricky one for me.
Don't want Bournemouth because I think we're more likely to slip up against Bournemouth. What I want is Sheffield United. They haven't got the sign over us like Bournemouth have. So I think, and the rest of the teams are all good. So Sheffield United at home would be my ideal one.
So, like, we'll try and pick apart some of those goals, because there was some absolute pearlers. Both of Richarlison's goals, which he really needed and made up, he got those two because me and Paul were talking about on the pre-match stream, talking about what Richarlison needs to do to like, you know, get his form back. And he said, score the winning goal. He's that sort of player. He'll work off his last performance. And for a while, it looked like it was gonna be the winning goal, didn't it? You know, that one at the Gladys Street, and then obviously Kane equalised. But beginning with, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's goal, it was good to see Dom, get one against Tottenham again, same as he did earlier on in the season. But what did you make of Everton's goals on the night? Because Tottenham fans will say, and will say as well, the defending was awful from both teams majority of the time. But the goals on show were strange ones as well, to sort of coincide with the result, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. Like, some of the goals were great, and some of them were just proper for both teams, and some of them were just like smelly goals, like just absolutely like you look at the goals in the game, and the ones that stand out as really good goals are obviously Bernard's one because of the assist from Sigurdsson, and I think Richarlison's second where he shoots across the keeper, and probably Harry Kane. The cross is really good. A lot of the others though are just like defensive errors or like misplaced passes that the other team picks up on. Like our first goal, Calvert-Lewin, he just hit the post before that, so Spurs knew it was coming. That Tom was in a goal scoring mood. He lashes his goal literally through Hugo Lloris. His hands are made of crisps.
I know. Yeah.
Because I'd be absolutely berserk if that was the other way around. If Harry Kane would have scored that past one, our keepers had just said get Virginia in goal.
Yeah.
Obviously, Richarlison's is just a bit of good movement. He absolutely, just glides past the defender, lets him shoot. Good placement of the ball. Penalty's a penalty. Richarlison's second, although it is a good finish, it comes from a mistake from Tottenham. And the Bernard one, similar, just giving it away in midfield.
Mad how similar they were, wasn't it? Isn't it really? We got round there twice. I know Sigurdsson's the second one was a good assist from Sigurdsson, and it's sort of above him, it's in the air, isn't it? But they were two similar goals, and Hugo Lloris, he'd been he's quite highly rated. I expected him to save either one of those, to be honest.
It's a bit harsh, I think, on some of them because they're just such good finishers. I think as defenders have let them down there, but the goals we conceded, we're usually really good at defending corners, aren't they? But that was.
Have you seen?
Mourinho all over that. He clearly had studied our set pieces and found a weak spot, and it was the front post corners, not so much the front post, the front of the 6-yard box. He obviously realised that Everton instruct their goalkeepers not to come and collect the ball, to have their defenders meet the ball. So if you can beat the defenders' jump, it's live in the 6-yard box then, and then that's what happens. Especially with Sanchez's second goal, they win the flick on, and then Olsen saves it, but then Gylfi's asleep and Sanchez scores. But it was. I'm not even talking about the goal in chronological order because the game was just so off its head. It's hard to analyse it from minute one to the end because it's so much happened in it.
You fully expect that Carlo will look at those goals we conceded because there was some scrappy goals Tottenham scored just from the corners. There was the cross into Harry Kane as well, which I think started with a corner, and about 10 seconds later, that was the goal. The Sanchez one to make it 3-3. And I think did the first one come from a cross, or was it a corner, the first Sanchez goal?
First one was a corner. It was on in the first
I actually missed the first goal. Went out the room thinking nothing's going to happen for the first, few minutes. Come out and come back, and they were 1-0 up. And honestly, Terry, I felt like the world dropped. Like, my entire world just caved in at that point. I was so angry. And everyone was talking on Twitter, this is typical Everton, this is the way we've started this game. But hopefully, Carlo looks at the fact that we weren't really at it from corners, which usually we're really good at, aren't we? And, find some sort of way to play against that once if any other teams try it. Because, we were wide open. I seen that someone took a Stephen King novel, and it was the Spurs corner. It was a horror novel. Because we were pretty bad from them last night, and that wasn't what I expected. Talking to the in the pre-matches and everything, I said it'd be tough to score from corners for Tottenham because we really good from set pieces this season, Me and Paul and James as well, we were talking about how Paul looking back on Paul's like, comments going into the game, he kept talking about how this will be a really scrappy game. It'll be the first team to score will win it and all stuff like that. But it's so good to see that, like a game that was a high scoring game that'll probably get bandied about as like a cup classic now. It's good to see Everton finally winning one, because we're used to coming out on coming out on the second best, because I can't remember if it was you said it as well, but I gave up with the extra time. I checked the score at half time and extra time and seen we were 5-4 up because I was too nervous, and I just expected Everton to really, I think it was you said in the Toffee Blues chat, like, these have got Kane and Ali on the pitch, and we've got Bernard and Coleman on the wings and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I am usually a glass half full type of like supporter anyway. I like to see the but I couldn't. I'm not the only one either, but I couldn't see us winning that at about 3 separate points. When we went 1-0 down, I was like, we're going to get battered this game. You can see.
Oh, yeah.
And then obviously we go 3-1 up, and it's like, bloody hell, how wrong I was. Then when they equalised for 3-3, I was like,
I thought we were going to let go of it there as well.
That's it, we're nothing. And then when we went 4-4, I was like, no. Like, we got to the point where, as you said then, I said it in the group chat, that we had Bernard on the left, who, let's be honest, he hadn't done much in his recent cameos, Bernard, has he? And we had a right back, a right forward, and Richarlison through the middle. So and it's not to say we couldn't score with them, because obviously we did, but I just thought they've got Son and Kane and Dele Alli with a point to prove, and I just thought they've got too much quality. We're not defending well, clearly, and I don't see us scoring anymore. So I thought to myself, every time we were level, or I was like, we can't score again, and they can. That was my attitude, and I was wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong. And it was. They're great when you win those games. Like, imagine we'd have been 3-1 up but lost 4-3. Imagine how angry you'd be today, going, what is wrong with this club? But if you win, you just forget all the goals you can see and just go, well, we scored more. And it's great. As you said, it's great to come out of one of these classic games that's going to get repeated on, like, compilations for ages, and you haven't lost, because I feel like on the Premier League years, every single top goal that was scored in the Premier League era was against us.
Yeah, you'll always look back, and there'll always be like the Alan Shearer goal for Newcastle, and there's always the there's the Liverpool derby, which was 4-4-1, wasn't it? Which we should have won. Was that the one where we had the goal disallowed in the last minute?
I think so.
Yeah,
but that I always more like Lampard and Drogba, and they're always against us. But it's nice to come out on top of what was a crazy game.
Well, thankfully that's not the case today. Everton beating Spurs 5-4. We can't leave it without mentioning Tom Davies last night, because the lad seen, and I used the phrase against Man United, he had a rocket shoved up a certain part of his body last night. The absolute pace he showed on the turn, and his willingness to get the ball forward for the first time in ages was just unbelievable. And I'm so made up for him, because I've been one of his biggest critics, and finally he's discovered a bit of form. So yeah, I'm just absolutely made up. Terry, you got anything to say about Tom Davies last night?
It was the best performance of his Everton career so far. He was just quality. He got better and better as the game went on, in the sense of when we had to have the second half of extra time where we were defending the lead, I actually was sitting there thinking, to Davies, give it to Tom Davies. And would you have said that at different?
No, definitely not. The last 3 games, he's just been a completely different player. I think he come on against Leeds, didn't he, towards the end, and he just seemed to be. He was milking the game out. He seemed to have a lot of he seemed to have a big game mentality when he come on. He had the right attitude. We're going to see this game out till the very end, and I'm going to keep hold of the ball, and you can put as many players on the ball as you want, and you're not going to get this ball off me. And then at Man United, he kept striving to get that that equaliser, and we did end up doing it, and the whole team was good in the second half of that game. But yeah, no, he was rightly singled out for praise. And then last night, it's unbelievable. Like it's good, so good to see all the fans that seem to be like back on him, you know, back enjoying watching him, and all the pictures of him in New York with Calvert-Lewin and all this like designer gear and all that. I love to see all that because it really does all the fans' heads in.
You know what though? He has an amazing game, and he's deservedly man of the match, I think. But my first reaction isn't just to go, now I can go and the finger and say I told you so to all those fans who didn't like. I think a lot of the time the criticism's been unfair, but a lot of the time it's also been fair because he hasn't played well.
Yeah.
But you've got to approach it without I hate the word agenda. So you've got to approach it without a bias where you think he's crap and he's always going to be crap. Carlo's made players out of. I wanted Michael Keane gone. I thought I started off thinking he was good, and then when people said he wasn't good, I was like, no, stick with him. Then I swung the other way and thought, no, I was wrong. He's not good enough.
Yeah.
Then after lockdown, Carlo had turned him into a player, and he's still a player now. I would love him to do that with more. He's done it with Calvert-Lewin, Holgate. Why not Davies? Like if Davies can move on, because Calvert-Lewin used to get called a championship striker, and all that, and now he's quality. He's a 20-goal a season striker in the making. Tom Davies, if he could have that season that Holgate and Calvert-Lewin had last season, it'd be brilliant. It'd save us a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, forget that he's Scouse, forget that he's an Evertonian and all that. I just want good players, and if Carlo can make a homegrown player into a good player, if he can make Davies have the Calvert-Lewin, transformation, why not? I want him to do that with loads of players. There's no player I'd love him to do it to Pickford. I'd love him to do it or I'd rather not replace the players if you can make them good. And Davies seemed like he just didn't know what he was, didn't know what his best position was, didn't know where he played, and he seems to have this season settled on all those issues. We now know the way he plays in the under-23s for under-21 for England. He can play number 6, and that's where we're going to play him. Yeah. And he's good there if you give him a run of games. So I want him to go from strength to strength. I want him to be next season. You've got to play Tom Davies. He's quality, because no one would have said that at the beginning of last season about Calvert-Lewin. And now imagine him being fit, not playing him.
Oh no, it'd be really controversial because he's been. Well, it's our top goal scorer. There's nothing more to say about it. With Davies, for me, I loved him when he first broke into the team. Thought he was brilliant. And when people started to sort of think he's not up to it, I stayed with him a bit longer. And then it was last season, really, he was doing me head in. He just didn't seem to have any sort of coaching or guidance. But last few games, I'm just made up because he's one of those players, you want to like him, but you can't like him if he's not doing the right things. Because at the end of the day, we need to be winning games. Luckily, last few games, he's shown the form we know he can, and he's having his best games for Everton so far. So I'm just made up that we can talk about him again, that he should be in the starting 11. We can talk about how well he's been playing, so it's really good. I think we've covered all the bases there. With a game like that, there's so much we could talk about. Leave us your comments down below. What did you think of the game? If you can, I don't even know if YouTube allow you that many words in a comment, but 5-4 Everton through to the next round. Hopefully, we get a decent draw that's a winnable game. But then again, after that game last night, I think we can win most games in this competition if we put our minds to it and we have a fully fit team. Yeah, so make sure you like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the Toffee Blues, and thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.